Welcome to Comics with Dan, and we're going to be talking about Power Rangers Prime #1. So Power Rangers Prime is the new Power Ranger book from Boom Studios, penned by Melissa Flores, who brought the last run of Power Rangers to a close with the Darkest Hour event. Also returning after some previous Power Rangers work are colorist Fabi Marquez and letterer Ed Dukeshire. However, new to the Power Rangers franchise is artist Michael YG, who absolutely rocks, but we'll get to that. Like any #1 should be, Power Rangers Prime #1 is a great starting point for new readers. I tried picking up on Power Rangers during the previous run in issue number 119 and had a hard time keeping up. And I think that was mostly on me because that's pretty late in the game to start a new series. However, here we're introduced to this brand new world, something that we haven't seen before. This story takes place in what seems to be the far future of Earth. Earth was attacked by aliens and was about to be overcome when the Eltarians, they intervened. When this happened, Earth welcomed them, and the Eltarians introduced all of this technology, and Earth flourished, right? And so it quickly turned, though, from just help from Eltar to more of an occupation of Earth, and they were eventually determined to be one of Eltar's colonies. And to put it in straightforward, non-spoilery terms, the Eltarians do not like the Power Rangers. Jun, an Eltarian, and Mark, a refugee who is not Eltarian or from Earth, seem to be the focus of this, at least the beginning of this story. We get the feeling right off the bat that these two they're going to either butt heads or have to work together. They come from completely different walks of life. And I just think there's going to be a really interesting dynamic between those two. So I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on them. And I can tell right at the beginning that they are a heavy focus of the story. I really love that there's going to be this overarching political theme to the story. We have this occupation and colonization of Earth, and so the Eltarians and the refugees that are on Earth from other systems that were attacked by these alien conquerors that the Eltarians saved Earth from. I think that having that dynamic of the oppressor and the oppressed is going to be really cool to see. And I'm interested to see how the addition of having Power Rangers in there is going to play into it. I feel like we might end up getting something of a rebellion against the Eltarians. Now, there's nothing in this issue that necessarily points towards that specifically. That's just sort of a hunch that I'm getting based on reading the first issue. The art by Michael YG is really well done. I'm not familiar with his work, but it has a really classic feel to it, but still has like a modern twist, right? And so there's a lot of background detail, but not to the point where you're getting lost in the background. But you can just tell that a ton of care and precision was put into each panel. Maybe it's because I'm reading a Power Rangers book, but I definitely see some Dan Mora inspiration in his art. I mean this as a positive, but his work very much fits what I imagine a mainstream comic to look like. So I wouldn't be surprised at all to see him get some more Big 2 work in the future. He has already done an Iron Fist series. It was a mini series, 5 issues. But I wouldn't be surprised to see him on more mainstream books coming up. Fabi Marquez is a colorist that I know from a Kickstarter book that I reviewed a while back called Rise. And I really liked her work on that. And it's also very good here. She complements the detailed style of Michael YG well. She doesn't, go broad brushstrokes over that detail that he puts in there, but actually gets in there and gives it its own color. And again, without causing the background to draw too much attention away from the foreground that is, where the reader's attention should be. So I think they really work together well as a team. She uses a really exciting color palette, which I always think about this when I read Power Ranger books, that Power Ranger books have to be either the absolute best for colorists to work on or the absolute worst. Since I'm not a colorist, I don't really know, but I imagine it's a lot of fun to get to use all those different colors, and Power Rangers themselves, it's just also driven by color. You'd be hard pressed to find a book that color is more important in than a Power Rangers book. Yet at the same time, it's probably an absolute ton of work to color a Power Rangers book, just given all the different colors that you need to use. It's probably constant switching back and forth. But Fabi Marquez does a really good job here. She's a very good colorist, and I was really happy to see that she was on this book. Ed Dukeshire kept it pretty straightforward and simple on the letters. There was one instance where I was a little confused on the reading order of what order to read the page in. But when I look at the page, I don't know how it could have been done in a better way. So I think that Ed probably just did the best with what he had there. Not necessarily a lettering fault so much as a panel design issue. There were some good sound effects in here, some twists on the speech bubbles here and there. Nothing really wowed me, but it was pretty decent lettering. A good job by Ed Dukeshire. I think Power Rangers Prime is going to be an epic. We're getting set up here based on the solicit for issue number 2. We may get the team together then, so we'll see how that goes. I have my ideas on who will be where in terms of who may be on this team and who the Rangers are going to be. I don't want to spoil anything in this book, so I'm going to keep that to myself until after the release. And maybe, if I get enough response on this video, then I'll make another video on who I think is going to be which Power Ranger. Here are 2 things about this book that I'll forewarn. There's minimal morphin, right? I think we'll get there, but the cover's a little misleading given the contents inside. There's not a lot of Power Rangering. Also, I can almost guarantee that this is going to get political. I don't think it's going to be preachy, virtue signaling type, but I think it'll be good political intrigue and drama. And, some people still don't like that. I think that if it's done well, a political book can be good. But it's going to get political. Melissa Flores, I think, though, is going to do a really good job with it, though. So I wouldn't be too worried if you're at all concerned about it being that sort of preachy type of political book. I don't think it's going to go there. Power Rangers Prime number 1 stands Wednesday, November 13th with a $4.99 price point. Power Rangers has been $4.99 since issue 111, a little over a year ago, so I'm not at all surprised that this, as well as issues 2 and 3, are solicited at $4.99. I gave this 4.5 stars on League of Comic Geeks. Definitely recommend picking it up on Wednesday. If there's any impulse buy book that you pick up on Wednesday, it should probably be this one. I think you're not going to want to miss out. Make sure you like the video. Make sure that you subscribe. Check out my other videos here, and thank you for watching.